Guess what day it is? Just guess. Come on, you know what day it is. You don't know? How could you not know? It might be the most beautiful day, no, the greatest day. Okay, I'll tell you. It's Hump Day. It's time for the Hump Day podcast with Matt and Zoe.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hump Day podcast with my man,
Matt.
And I'm Zoe. And today, we got some great things in store for you all. We really do appreciate the support, and we're going to get right into it.
All right, so we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett and how we feel about some comments she's made and the portrayal of herself, basically. Al Green and his censure. We're going to talk about what a censure is,
yes,
and how it affects him, and just what he said about impeachment and stuff. After that, we'll talk about the divide in the country.
Important.
Especially at the State of the Union, it was pretty evident. After that, we're going to go ahead and talk about Angel Reese and a potential lockout for the WNBA, what they may be demanding. Maybe her words got misconstrued. LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, they had a little bit of a dispute. We'll talk about that.
Correct.
And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about relationships.
Yes.
Before we really get into Jasmine Crockett, I want to make sure I thanked all our subscribers. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Yeah. We are going to do a little giveaway at 100 subscribers. We'll get a $100 Visa card.
Yes.
Send it out to a random subscriber. So make sure you subscribe. We're getting a lot of support. 30 subscribers already. We're blessed. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
We enjoy doing this.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's get into it. So,
yes.
Jasmine Crockett, she's
I think she's a
she's a senator or congresswoman?
She's a representative of Texas.
Democratic representative of Texas.
Correct.
This was, you were kind of spearheading the research on this.
Yes.
So go ahead and get into it and let's have a discussion about Jasmine Crockett.
We're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett. My view on Jasmine Crockett. I think in order for her to represent the body of people that she's representing, there should be a certain standard, a certain decorum, and I just don't see that with her. She have these moments where she goes into, I'm just going to say quote unquote ghetto, and I don't think it's a great representation for the people, let alone the black people. It's been a great cloud over us as far as why we aren't in these certain positions, and it's because of the way we conduct ourselves at the end of the day. You should definitely have a sense of professionalism at all times because you're held to that standard when you're representing the people.
Yeah, especially in Congress. There is like a sense of decorum, right?
That's right.
You're in a business place. You're supposed to be an example, I guess.
Correct.
I keep saying there's Congress people on both sides that are they don't seem to have decorum. There's
That's
a gentleman that doesn't even wear a suit, and I don't know if I feel like a congressperson should have to wear a suit, but I feel like it gives you a person, like that's who we should be seeing in Congress.
That's
It's a good example for our younger generation, even a good example for me. If I'm in a role where I'm trying to lead somebody, I feel like we should look the part.
Definitely.
And act the part.
It's called looking the part. That's right. I mean, and you're in a room with a bunch of people who's put that time in. You know what I mean? Who you should have role models that's previously been in that position to where they've kind of guided you in the direction where you should go.
Yes, sir.
But the thing about Jasmine Crockett, these moments, her being a black woman, it's already tough by her being a black woman, and I would think she would have the common sense to know that if you are going to represent us, you want to stand out and you want to shine bright, but sometimes the way she go about handling herself, it really casts that stigma upon us.
Now, are you talking about her in the House of Representatives?
Correct.
Or are you talking about like her antics outside where she's got like Instagram videos?
Inside, outside. You know what I mean? Okay. She could be there and she shoot a little video while she's there,
Yes, sir.
And it's poor representation. I'm not a fan of it. And I really think that it should be something that she should look into adjusting in order if she want the outcome to be in her power at the end of the day.
Yeah, who's she trying to appeal to is a thing I kind of looking into, or trying to understand.
What
is
kind
that-
of vibe she gave me? She gives me like the Kamala vibes, where you trying to appease to the black folk, so you think you're being how the black folk are. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Even though we do have ghettos in the society, you do have
sir.
black people that conduct themselves the way that we should among society, not in a ghetto way.
It has been happening. I know Hillary Clinton, when she was running, somebody asked her about how she likes to eat her chicken, and she was like, I keep a thing of hot sauce in my bag. Like, Hillary, calm down. No, you don't.
Yep, and
Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't know Hillary.
it's
but
not
it
cool.
doesn't sound like
It's not cool. You don't have to appease to the ghetto because from what I've researched, she isn't even ghetto. But for some reason, it comes out of nowhere, and like I said, it kind of gives me Kamala vibes.
Yeah, you said she went to some private schools.
Absolutely.
I did a little bit of research. There was like a $35,000 a year school, and then after that, preparatory school for $55,000 a year.
So she came out of a great background.
So, yeah, I mean,
Nowhere near ghetto.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
She's out of. I don't want to say out of touch with that area, but I don't think her going to those schools excludes her from speaking the way she speaks. I do believe decorum is a thing, like you said.
Okay.
I also think maybe there's a separation there. She makes a lot of videos like Instagram, Facebook. It looks like she's trying to get followers or something, so she's trying to shine the spotlight on herself. And maybe that's a diversion tactic. Maybe something's going on in the background that now we're looking at Jasmine Crockett and she's getting all this attention, but what's going on over here? A little divert. I do think there's like a divide, right? So if she's on Instagram doing that, I honestly don't feel offended. I don't get riled up. It doesn't matter to me. That's your personal life. Be who you want in your personal life. Obviously, follow laws.
Okay.
You should still be an example for the
understand
most
from
part,
your
but as a
standpoint.
personal life. But in Congress, which she has gotten a little Riley, talking over people. I've watched a few videos where it's like, hey, calm it down. But me personally, if you're on Instagram or you're on your personal time, like you can be whoever you want.
Absolutely.
In my personal
But when you're
opinion.
representing the people, you definitely have to conduct yourself in a manner,
Even
in
in
a
your
professional
personal-
manner.
even in like Instagram or something, you feel like she should be.
You're part of a group of people that represent the country,
Yes, sir.
the highest. You don't conduct yourself in a manner that you're conducting yourself in, representing the country.
Okay.
You know
I
what I
see what
mean?
you're saying. Yeah. So you're always on the clock, basically, is your idea.
Yeah,
No matter what.
but
you're,
especially in those buildings, in those times, she has
100%.
showed classless behavior. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And for a woman, a black woman, for you to have your footprint in those areas, you want to represent. But when you want to represent to show the others. You don't want to confirm the negative. You don't want,
Okay,
you don't
I
want
get
them to
what
say,
you're saying.
okay, yeah, see, there's
Confirm
another
the
black
negative.
one.
That's
Look at
good.
there. Look at there. That's exactly how they act. No, because she has the education. So why not be that? Why not represent in a, like I said, a classy way? You know what I mean? A professional manner. You know what I mean? I always relate to a woman such as, we're not going to get deep into this woman, but this is a woman, Candace Owens.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a representation of a black woman that's getting the opportunity to be in that in that space, in that power, and can represent for the people the way that she should.
I hear what you're saying. Candace is very proper. Always speaking proper. I don't recall her ever getting into like I don't know what to call it, but code switching. I think they call it. Where you're,
Okay.
You've heard of this?
Never.
So I did a little research while I was doing Jasmine Crockett, and somebody said code switching, so I Googled it. It's code switching is like at home you act whatever way, but you come to work or place of business, whatever it may be, and you have to speak a certain a more proper way, I guess. So they call it code switching. So maybe at home, what did you say? It was ghetto talk, basically.
Yeah.
So quote unquote
Slang,
ghetto slang. But then you get in your business, and maybe you're an attorney, maybe you're something. You can't use slang. You have to be proper. You have to be upright, dress nice. But mostly it's used for language, right?
Correct.
Code switching. So instead of talking your slang or whatever you might call it, now you're speaking proper English. So maybe that's an issue. Maybe she was raised right. She went to these good schools, and maybe she was around like all the slang and stuff. It's possible.
It's possible.
And then now she wants to maybe she's had an issue code switching, or maybe it's performative sass. That's something like she just wants to be spotlight, spotlight, spotlight. So she's performing, and that's not who she
Or you're
is.
selling what you think the people want.
And that's possible too. I mean, she's trying to get reelected. I'm
Yeah,
sure
you're
that's
selling
on
what
the
people
docket.
want. And I can tell you right now, ma'am, with all due respect, that is not what we want.
Okay.
Yeah, with all due respect, that is not what we want. Give us that educational, professional side that you have.
Be who you are, basically.
There
That's
you
what
go.
you're saying.
And I know there's a lot of times when I speak, people say, "Oh, you're talking like why are you talking like a white man?" Or why
That's
you
the
talking,
stupidest thing I ever heard. I hate that.
Why does educated have to have a color on it?
It doesn't make
You know
sense
what I mean?
at all.
And and that's she just needs to be educated like she is. Be yourself. People, you are more accepted when you be yourself. It's when you pretend to be something that you're not when people can find out, and people will definitely let you know that we know you're not who you say you are.
They call it pandering too, where you're like,
Correct.
You're being a different. You're trying to get this person's by not being yourself. You're trying to get their approval.
Therefore, you're
just
a
be
fraud.
yourself. If you're in the Congress and you speak slang or whatever, maybe be more proper, especially in the House.
In those moments.
In those
Absolutely.
moments.
Absolutely.
Again, in my opinion, if she's on Instagram or something, I understand. Like, you have your personal life. I do understand you're on the clock all the time and you're under the microscope all the time, but everybody has their own personality, their personal life. So I believe there is like a line there.
Well, when you're in Congress, those moments don't ever want to be caught on camera. Rather, it's your personal time or not, because you're held to that standard.
Or should be.
Whenever you want to have your ghetto lapses, the camera should not be rolling. You shouldn't want people to capture that side of you. You know what I mean? You don't want people to capture that side of you. You definitely, whenever that camera's on you, you want to remain professional at all times. Because
I remember
you got
Barack
people
Obama.
looking up to you. You got these young kids that's looking up to you. And which way do you really want to lead them at the end of the day?
Yes, sir.
You know
I
what I
remember
mean?
Barack Obama. I was, I think I was 18, 19. I first got in the military. I voted for him. He sounded great. He said all the right stuff. I don't remember one time where he lapsed into like slang or anything. I mean, every once in a while he'd say it and to get a laugh, but it wasn't like lapsing into it or becoming that person. And Barack Obama was supremely successful.
There you go.
I didn't vote for him the second time, but I did. I think he was a great president.
Oh.
Not to get off topic here. I think he was pretty good. I do think he created more of a divide than should have been, but I believe he was. Let me not say great, because there's been 47 presidents now. I don't think he ranks in the top 10, but he was a good president.
He
in my
ushered
opinion.
in truth pill. He ushered in the generation that we're battling against right now.
I can't argue with you there.
He
Yes,
alone
sir.
ushered in the generation that we're battling against
That
right
could
now.
be a topic on another episode.
But
'cause
yeah,
that-
man, let's keep it rolling.
I do want to touch on something that Jasmine Crockett did say. She said illegal immigration's not a crime, but unfortunately,
are so
Jasmine, you're
outraged
incorrect
by
there.
these immigrants and the crime that they're bringing, and not to mention city law enforcement, local law enforcement. They are always going after crime, and they don't say, "Oh, you committed a murder. Oh, but you're an immigrant. Well, let you go." Right? So they are always focused on crime. They continue to say things like the illegals and that they broke the law coming in. But what they're not telling the American people is that it is a civil violation. It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations.
If you don't check in at the border at the spots you're supposed to check in, it is actually a chargeable crime. So therefore, an illegal immigrant would be a criminal. Now, there are situations where immigrant may not be legal here anymore, but it would not be criminal, such as a visa lapsing, right? Say your visa, you're here to work, and your visa lapsed. You're not here legally anymore, but it's not a crime because it just lapsed. You're working outside of the purview of what that visa's for.
Okay.
Technically, you're illegally here because you're not following the laws of the visa, but it's not criminal. You're not a criminal because you're making a mistake here. So we can correct that. Now, coming across the border illegally, not checking in at border, that is definitely a crime. So Jasmine Crockett was incorrect.
And not to dive too far into that, I've had instances where you watch on TV, you hear people say, "Oh, this is a stolen country and nobody's here illegally." Listen, these laws have been established since
1776 is when we became a country. The 1700s. You weren't born then. So these laws have been, regardless if you feel that way now, those laws have been here since 17s. And I'm pretty sure if you're in adult life and you're arguing that now, you had the chance to do that a little earlier in your life before Trump came into office. So if we want to, let's call a spade a spade. The only reason why it's a problem now is because it's Trump in the office. And no, I didn't hear anybody crying about it when Obama did it. The deportations.
He is the deportation king.
I haven't done research on that, but
Deported
I have
more
heard
people than any president in the history of presidents in this country.
A Donald Trump. We're fighting against Donald
Trump. Bias. It's just a bias thing.
We'll get into that in a minute. Actually, our next topic will kind of segue into that. Yeah. I think we've concluded the Jasmine Crockett portion.
Yes.
Again, illegal immigration, not checking in at the border. That is a crime. Unfortunately, Jasmine Crockett may have been misinformed or maybe misspoke. That was a big deal in the news for a little while. So I want to make sure we touch base on that. And I mean, they're saying that they're deporting criminals. If you're illegally here, in that instance,
if you didn't get a green card, right? That's what it's called.
I believe
it's
so.
A visa or green card. If you didn't get either of those to come into this country, and you just went through the fence to come through, you're here illegally. That's just it. If you didn't follow the rules and the laws to get here, you're here illegally. Period.
Donald Trump said something about gold cards. They haven't initiated yet, but like buying cards.
Yeah, it's a little
up the United States income.
It's up for debate.
Yeah,
but it helps the country.
I think it just sounds cool.
If they're pouring that money back into the country,
that's what he said. It'd be
definitely. I'm with it.
60% going to debt.
Let's make this country rich again.
Yes, sir.
Let's make this country great again.
I think it'd be cool. Somebody I got a gold card.
Yeah.
All right. You got a goal. All right, our next subject is Al Green. He's the senator that stood up in the State of the Union address when Donald Trump was talking at the very beginning. Everybody was supposed to take their seats, and he kept yelling about Medicaid, Medicare, about him not needing to cut it. Unfortunately, I believe he must have been misled because Donald Trump said he wasn't cutting Medicaid or Medicare.
Not even a little bit.
And it would be dumb for him to. That's literally known as the third rail of politics. You don't want to touch that because nobody wants Medicaid or Medicare. As much as it probably should be cut a little bit or figured out, tightened up a little bit, that's where most of our national debt, not national debt, but that's where all our money goes for taxes. So it goes debt, it goes defense, and then Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. Is where most of our money goes.
That's right. Yeah, he's not touching Medicaid, neither is Social Security.
Yeah.
Neither one.
No. He said he wasn't touching any of that. Yeah. The only thing with Social Security I heard was about
taxes.
It's no taxes on Social Security. So
I
didn't hear that.
No taxes on tips. No taxes on overtime.
I did hear about tips
no
overtime.
taxes on Social Security.
Really? I think that's a good idea. I think no taxes on Social Security is a good idea.
Absolutely.
Personally. Now, Al Green, he was arguing about that. He got escorted out by the sergeant at arms. And then later, he got voted to be censured. 10 Democrats signed on to that as well to censor him. Do you know what censure is?
I was just going to ask you to elaborate a little bit on what censure exactly is.
It means absolutely nothing. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's a warning is what I was hearing.
It's literally, it's nothing. So it's basically like a group of people say that they didn't like what you did.
Okay.
And then I believe he has to stand up in the House and like say a speech or something, maybe apologize. I don't think it's apology, but there's
No, but do you know what they did?
what did
He turned his back to the podium and they were singing some Negro slavery song.
really?
That's exactly how it was
I didn't
spoken.
hear that.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want, but what I heard is that they was up there singing a song like a old back in the day slavery song. Honestly,
I heard the Republicans were saying like, "Hey, hey, hey, goodbye."
Oh no,
like,
no, no.
like
That's
taunting
when
him
he got.
almost.
That's when he got. That's when he got tossed out.
Yeah.
That's when they walked him out. But during the censure, when they held the moment for the censure, they
so I didn't
turned.
even look
He
at that.
came in there with a group of people. They turned their back. It was another woman who they was talking about. It's a black woman who they was talking about who was with him. She gives them a lot. She's a Democrat too. Something other. Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters, and they were in there singing. They were in there singing like an old slavery song.
Really?
Yeah, and I
It's
was
all
like
performative.
we will overcome or something other like that, and you know,
Politics is getting ridiculous. It's all performative. Everybody wants to like get on the news. Everybody wants to get followers or something. It's just all performance
As
now.
I
Like,
said
let's have
before,
some substance
I'll
here.
say again, there's always a way to go about dealing with things. You could either deal with it the right way, or you could go about it the wrong way. Him doing that kind of went about it the wrong way, and if you leave it up to the other side, they'll say he went about it great. But it
Well,
only
10 of them didn't. 10 of them
Oh,
said
10,
he.
10 of his
And honestly,
definitely there.
it's all performative, right? Like everybody needs to start to get along. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I do understand there is benefit to making your opponent look maybe toxic is the word, or maybe make them look bad because you
Mm-hmm. Correct.
want to win the election, right? And I understand that. And there's benefit to that, but there's also like we're the United States. We should be like friendly to one another. Republican, Democrat, Independent, it doesn't matter. We should be able to find common ground. And obviously, certain subjects we're not going to find
Certain
common
things
ground.
are just becoming out of control. There's no order. There's
A
no
lot of
order.
things are becoming
There's
out of
no
control.
order. You know, protesting is fine, but like I said, there's a way to protest. And when you go into these sacred places and you just show absolute disrespect for them, like that shouldn't be tolerated. Not
Well,
whatsoever.
that's why he got threw out. I mean, honestly, he just wouldn't stop talking, and they were trying to get to the State of the Union.
Right.
So, yeah, he didn't show any respect.
And we all know they publicized it, they televised it, that it was planned anyway.
Well, he planned it.
All of this stuff they were supposed to stage a walkout. The entire Democrat side was supposed to stage a walkout.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's according to Jasmine Crockett. You know, they were supposed to stage, and they said Al Green kind of went rogue.
Well, I'm
on
glad
his
they
own.
didn't do the walkout. I'm glad.
You know what I mean?
I mean, hopefully that brings us to where it's not performative. Let's have substance. Let's make things matter. Al Green
Correct.
yelling at Donald
Correct.
Trump
Correct.
about Medicaid, Medicare. That doesn't matter. You're just getting the spotlight.
That's right.
And he had a speech. He started talking like he was like Martin Luther King, like with the, and good for him. I mean, he seems like a great speaker, but let's have stuff not performative.
That's right.
Let's cross the aisle. Let's shake hands. Let's figure out where we can agree on things. And then if we can't agree on things, hey, you're not my enemy.
And you know what?
This is places where we're not going to build a bridge.
That brings us right into the next segment of the show.
Oh yeah, the divided country. So
Absolutely.
on while he was doing the State of the Union, he even mentioned it, and a great job on his part to call it out. He said, no matter what I do, I can't quote exactly what he said, but he said, no matter what I do, none of the people on this side are going to cheer for me.
Who are we talking about?
Oh, he's talking about the Democrats who are on his right
No,
side.
who are we referencing?
Oh, Donald Trump.
This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So, Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Okay.
He said, no, they'll never cheer for me. I could
That's right.
find a cure to the worst disease in the world.
Absolutely.
And I will not get a clap.
Absolutely.
And it proved it in itself. It was almost like a challenge to them. Like,
That's right.
You don't want to prove them right,
That's right.
but you don't want to be wrong either. So basically, Democrats stepped on their own feet, and he set them up
That's
for
right.
it. They did not cheer. I think there was one
A
Democrat
13-year-old.
that
Yeah, it
clapped.
was one. It was one. I think it was one.
And the 13-year-old, I think it was a
They
13-year-old,
showed
the kid from
yep,
Texas
They
who
showed
got
absolutely.
honorary.
They hate Trump so much that they wouldn't even acknowledge a 13-year-old boy who just always wanted to be a police officer. He had
He has
13
cancer,
brain
I think.
surgeries. 13 brain surgeries to remove cancer. The Lincoln Riley's family.
Yeah, they made him an honorary
Agent.
Secret Service
Yeah,
agent.
correct.
And he was so happy. Like,
Correct.
how could you not? It's almost tear jerking to see that, and that's amazing. And I know that's performative too, but that's like making a difference in somebody's life,
That's
right? And
cold-hearted.
that's a good performance, in my opinion. It is cold hearted. They didn't clap. I'm talking about like Donald Trump doing that is performative,
Mm-hmm.
but that's adding a benefit somewhere. To giving this kid something that he always dreamed of. His dad
Absolutely.
was so appreciative of it.
Well, you know what? He doesn't get enough recognition for all of the good things he do anyway. Like
Donald
he said,
Trump.
he could exactly. He could do nothing good in their eyes. You know, I remember a story
nothing's good
that
enough.
they don't even talk about. Not to get too far off,
No, go ahead.
but it was something that happened with the R&B singer. What was her name? Jennifer Hudson. Something happened with her family. Her family got slaughtered.
Really?
And he flew her out to Trump Towers and just told her to stay there as long as she needed to grieve.
This was when he was president?
I think this was when he was president. I'm going to say I think so. Maybe he wasn't yet, but I think he was the president then. And, you know, it's things like that nobody talks about. You know what I mean? Nobody talks about.
They don't get credit for.
He definitely don't get no credit. They think he's hateful. You know what I mean? When, in my opinion is, what you see is what you get with him. There's no puppets controlling him. He can't be bought. I just think everybody need to relax. I just think by them doing what they doing in the country, it's showing like the enemy from within.
It's just such a divide. And we were just talking about it. We need to be together. We need to find ways to bridge the gap, right? Like Democrat, Republican, Independent. Democrats have views on pro-life or are
Pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Republicans are pro-life. That's something we're not going to really find a bridge on.
That's right.
So we could leave that one alone. There's a few subjects, but it's like every subject is divisive now,
That's right.
and it shouldn't be.
That's right.
Men and women's sports is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's politicized now, and they tried to pass it, and I believe every Democrat voted against it, and even the Maine governor we talked about her a little bit last episode, she stood up and challenged it.
Well, see, people, it don't affect people until it's on their doorstep. It's not going to affect them until it's their child
Against a man.
that's in that situation with the transgender, and they just get brutally beaten, and then all of a sudden now you want to advocate for it not to happen.
What about that girl McNabb? He talked about that got a spike, I believe in volleyball. They spiked the ball down. Like a man was on the other team, or a boy, a male, we'll say, was on the other team and spiked the ball, hit her in the head, and gave her brain damage. Because she's not, I guess her body's not capable of enduring that, right? Like as a man, we're
It
built.
just makes no sense.
I know people say this, but built different.
That makes no sense. You know, and the division in the country is, you know, I guess it's a more freer living, a godless lifestyle on the left hand.
Oh, it's definitely religion is out the door at this point.
That's
If
what
you're
I'm saying.
male
And
or
on the right
female.
side is definitely a more godly format that they're going by. In my opinion, that's how I look at it. That's why I based my vote on the way I based my vote.
So you're saying the right side's more probably religious than the left side than
they
Democrats,
follow
Republicans
more
are?
they follow more biblical formats.
I can
what
see that.
As far as the lifestyle goes, and we're not talking about the economy. We're talking about
Yes,
as
sir.
far as where we're pushing a generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The left is pushing an agenda that I'm definitely for. It's like you said, it's God out of nothing. You know, there's no more American flags. You're not allowed to pray in school. I hope Trump bring that back. So I
think
hope
the
he bring
Pledge of
back praying in
Allegiance,
school.
They got rid of the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
They have, yeah. I don't think you pledge these. Yeah, and on the left, it's what I'm seeing is the left hate the country. Honestly,
Yes, sir.
if you really look at
Seems that
everything,
way. Or
it
some
looks
of them,
like
some of them.
it looks like the left for a majority hates America, and you know there's always a solution to that.
Goodbye.
Leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can promise you that this is the best country in the entire world.
I know everybody gets tired of hearing that, but it's true.
It's true, man.
Factual.
It's true.
Yeah, this is the best country in the world. You're allowed to have your views. You're allowed to voice your views. Freedom of religion, all that. There's stuff in this country that you're not allowed to do in any other country, and that's great.
Oh,
Go ahead.
you know, I got the biggest one.
Go ahead.
Disrespect the president.
Yeah, that's
They do it blatantly,
all the time.
televised, did it open publicly. You disrespect the president, you disrespect the country, but you still allowed to be here. I mean, God, how is it this the
Canada doesn't
greatest
even
place
have
in the world?
freedom of speech anymore.
Man, listen, a lot of places don't got freedom of speech.
If you offend somebody in Canada,
I guarantee you
verbally
that
offend
their
somebody,
comedy
you could go
is
to jail.
trash. I guarantee you the comedy is
100%.
trash because you may hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah, that's what comedy's made for. Bro. Come on, we're trying to hurt your feelings so we can
Man,
laugh.
let's
at
bring the country together, man. Let's love each other.
I don't want to get too far into religion, but we did bring it up, so I want to bring it up. Do you know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah?
A little bit. I'm
Fire,
not
raining
going to
down.
act like I'm very versed in it.
We're I don't want to say we're to that point, but God eventually was like, hey, like you guys are not listening to anything I said, and just rain down fire.
Hey, you know, according to a lot of the older community, we're in those times, as well as the churches.
Yeah.
We're in those times.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of religion, the Pope, he's sick.
Oh,
He might be
man.
replaced soon. I don't know if you follow Catholicism. I was brought up Catholic. I don't want to bring up too much religion,
but I respect it.
but that's a pretty big deal. He wasn't a lot of people didn't agree with him. He's a very progressive Pope, and Catholicism is not very. There's very conservative Catholicism.
How can you be progressive and be like a Christian?
So I don't know the answer to that. I'm not
Like,
in a
I'm
place
literally
to judge
trying to
that.
understand that because some of the
there's-
views that they have
Yeah,
does not align with the scriptures of the Bible.
and
That's just period.
No, 100%. Yeah, like abortion and stuff is absolutely unforgivable.
a lot
in
more.
in the Catholic Bible, at least in the Bible I grew up on. I don't know exactly what progressive stances he had. I was watching YouTube about it, and he was known as a progressive Pope. Now, the funny thing is about a new Pope coming in, honestly, it's not like a hierarchy, right? You're not rank 1, 2, 3, 4, and now rank 5's gone. Now rank 4 goes in. It could be whoever the Holy Spirit guides them to, right? The cardinals come together, and the Holy Spirit guides them to a person. I believe one time it was just a monk up in a cave, and he became Pope.
Yeah, I think I
heard a
Conclave.
story
I seen
about
the
that.
movie Conclave, and it was
Conclave?
it kind
I
of shed
never
a lot
seen
of light on the stuff like that. It's
Good movie?
definitely surrounding the Pope and everything.
Is it a good movie?
It's a great movie.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Conclave is a great movie.
Check out Conclave. If you don't like it, talk to Zoe.
Yeah, y'all.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll let y'all know.
Y'all can get at me if y'all don't like it.
But yeah, let's get off the religion thing. I just remembered he's very sick, and there's like a whole ceremony. It's kind of cool, like white smoke, black smoke. They figured out
That's
the new
right.
Pope,
I see
that
it.
type of stuff.
They did it in Conclave.
It's
That's how I
kind
see
of
it,
cool. I mean, prayers go out to the Pope.
Absolutely.
It's not cool that that's happening, but like the way they decide and all that, it's pretty cool in that it's not like a hierarchy. Like, hey, next up,
That's right.
we're gonna decide. The Holy Spirit's gonna speak to us.
We ain't
so
gonna wrap it up yet. We're gonna end this segment of let's bring this country together.
Yeah, please.
That's just it.
Find
Man.
bridges.
Let's love one another. You know I'm big on that too.
Yes, sir.
Let's love one another.
You love everybody.
Let's
I think every episode you said that so far.
absolutely, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I don't care what you are, who you are, what side you're on. You know, I have I think the majority of everybody who I love is Democrat. You know what I mean? And
we were
we
talking
love
about
each
that.
other
Yes,
just
sir.
fine. I haven't been banished yet. And I won't be banished because our love for each other overrides whatever political view that we have at the end of the day. So what I'm going to tell you guys is let's come together with love. Let's make love more powerful than what each other political view is, because if not, we're just going to kill each other out. And what that allows is for other countries to infiltrate us and kill us from within. And we definitely don't want that. So let's stand as a unit. Let's love one another. We can agree to disagree respectfully and live.
I agree. There's always bridges. There's always things we can agree on or come together on. Everything doesn't have to be right against left, red
right.
against blue, Republican
right.
against Democrat. There's medium. There's even ground we can come together and come to agreements on
right.
on nearly everything. Obviously, there are polar opposites on certain things. And don't touch Medicaid or Medicare, or they will not vote for you again, Donald Trump. Don't touch it. All right, so let's move on to Angel Reese. I don't know if you, she's in the news a little bit again, and I want to touch on Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark a little bit.
Go ahead.
So I was discussing it with you, and I don't know how many of our viewers watched the WWE, formerly known as WWF, when we grew up. Undertaker, all that, John Cena.
Right. That's
so
right.
they have these things called heels and faces, right? Controversy sells. So you want to have a person that's negative and a person that's positive, right? You want a person that's being cheered for and a person that's booed. They go together, they clash. All the ratings.
Rivalry.
Crazy rivalry. Yeah.
Rivalry.
So, and in the NBA, which is more fitting to this story, right?
Correct.
We had Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
That's right.
Larry Bird was more of a heel. Magic Johnson was the face, right?
Correct.
The positive. Larry Bird was the negative. Not trying to offend anybody here. Both of you guys are great basketball players, Hall of Famers. Amazing. Both careers amazing. Angel Reese is the heel right now.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark is the face. And that's, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's creating the need to watch the NBA, the viewership
The
that they're
WNBA?
getting. WNBA, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So this is a good thing that Angel Reese is. She's kind of like owning this heel role. And
The
Caitlin
villain.
Clark-
Let's just say the villain.
Yeah, that's what a
Yeah,
heel.
the
They call
villain.
it
Okay.
a heel in
Okay.
wrestling. That's why I'm saying heel.
Okay.
But yeah, a villain. Now she's not doing anything villainous, but she's like the bad guy. Caitlin Clark's a good guy. Good for them. They found a recipe that works. Now Angel Reese was talking about a potential lockout if they don't get paid correctly. I did a little bit of research on this as well. As you know, I love doing research, right? The WWA and the WNBA, not WWF. The WNBA is projected to lose $50 million in 2024, right? So last year, the fiscal year, projected to lose $50 million. So I'll just read this real quick. Which is a 5-fold increase from the average annual loss in the past. And this is all according to Washington Post. So it's reputable where I'm getting the information from. The WNBA losses are largely due to a $25 million increase in the charter flight expenses, which is great for the players. They don't have to fly commercial anymore. They get to fly charter, right? Private jets and whatnot. Their revenue has increased, but player salaries only make up 9.3%. 200 million revenue went to player salaries, which is peanuts compared to the NBA, right? But they don't have the contracts. They don't have the viewership of the NBA. The WNBA is planning to expand the regular season to generate more profit. You have more games, more profit, more tickets, more viewership. So what they want is more money, but there's no money to disperse, right?
That's right.
Like you want, and you're a
Where
great
they gonna
athlete,
pull the
and
money from?
That's what I'm getting at. Angel Reese, you're a great athlete. You destroy me in basketball. 100% guaranteed, no questions asked. You're great at your sport. Congratulations. Great job. Caitlin Clark, the same. Every WNBA player. Amazing, right? And
Did
they're
you
not to
compare
the level.
stats?
I'm sorry?
Have you compared stats
Of who to who?
them to them?
Like Caitlin Clark to Angel Reese?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Angel Reese misses a lot.
A lot?
Yeah, and she gets a lot of rebounds, but
Okay.
it's
What's her
factual that it's
position?
all off of her. She's a power forward.
Okay, she's a power forward. Okay. And Caitlin Clark is
I think like a point guard, shooting guard
point
type.
guard, shooting guard. Okay, so I can see where the discrepancy there is. I
She
guess.
shouldn't miss as much as she's missing, but I mean,
Is she a
she's-
scoring power forward?
she scores. What do you mean scoring power forward?
Is she like,
She's the main player on her team.
On
She's
her
the
team.
star on her team.
and she's not, and her stats are still not compared to.
Caitlin Clark's in another dimension.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Asia Wilson, she's
and
amazing.
This is what I get at. I'm glad you said that.
Go ahead.
They shouldn't be compared. They shouldn't be in the same conversation together.
You
I
don't
don't
think so?
care about the college rivalry.
I think it's perfect.
I-
Like this
I
is how
don't-
they're gaining
I mean,
viewership.
well, if they're gonna gain
It creates
viewership, yeah,
controversy.
but still, we let them. Okay, I get it, but when you put the stats up, then everybody's like, well,
So they're not
This
Larry
shouldn't even
Bird,
be
Magic
con-
Johnson.
absolutely not,
No,
bro.
I agree. Like not
absolutely
yet, but
not.
Larry
Not if
Bird,
you're saying the stats or if it's a huge discrepancy in the stats. No,
it's pretty big. I'm gonna be
No.
honest with you.
no.
Yeah.
I don't care what they want to, because give it another rivalry. Give Caitlin Clark somebody else that's
don't
close in
know.
her range,
People
or
are-
give Angel Reese somebody else that's in her range to actually be legitimate a rival of. They're carrying their rivalry from college into the WNBA,
So did
but
Magic
the
and Larry.
numbers don't. The numbers don't
saying
support the
statistics.
rivalry that they
Yeah.
brought into the WNBA. And honestly, I seen. Shout out to the Cartier family. That's a podcast that I watch.
He loves
heavily.
y'all. Talks about y'all all the time.
I seen on there some of, bro. No. I watch a lot of her videos, and it shows she needs a lot of work. Maybe they
You're
were
talking
just
about a lot
showing the
of misses.
downside,
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
and not the
You gotta know
highlights.
that. Yeah.
But there is no.
All right, so I hear what you're saying, but let's take. And
So
I
if-
know you're not gonna like.
You
me
shouldn't
saying
want more
this,
money
but-
neither if you ain't worth more money.
Well, if
That's
you're not
just it.
making the money, you can't get the money. You squeezed all the juice out of that orange, man.
Do you think
There's no
people's
more
going to
juice
say
left.
she's worth more than $75K a year?
Are you saying for just a? I mean, with her contracts and stuff, her contract with the
That's
NBA
what she
or
makes. She makes
WNBA,
75K a year.
75K a year.
Yeah.
I mean, she wants to be compared to. I don't believe she's worth more than that because they don't make more than that.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the money's not there to be had.
Yeah, it's not even there to give. Anyway.
So a lockout, what's that going to do? You're going to lose all the WNBA, all
yeah.
this money.
But she has a bag outside of the WNBA,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is great.
that's what I
because
was talking
she's
about. She
definitely
got-
a hustler, so I give
Yeah.
her that. You know what I mean? Outside of the
Reese's,
NBA.
Burger King, she's got a burger.
Yeah, outside and McDonald's.
McDonald's?
Yeah,
no, you can't have. Oh, it's McDonald's. I was wrong. It's not
Okay,
Burger King.
yeah,
I'm about to say
hold
you
up
can't
now.
have both. You can't have both.
But so she gets a bag outside of the WNBA. But like you said, if the views aren't there, which contributes to the revenue of the WNBA, then how are you actually going?
Where are you going to get the money
Yeah,
from?
correct.
If you can't squeeze more juice out of the orange, that's how they say it. I think my chief once said, "Yeah, I squeezed all the juice out of that rock."
Yeah.
I was like, "Chief,
Get
come
nothing
on,
outside
man.
of it.
Rock don't have no juice." What I do like about it though is it is driving viewership, right? It's awesome to actually see it driving viewership. Now the game could be played better, and they're gonna get better. They're newer. They're learning. They are very brave to be talking about they could beat. I think Josh Hart and Asia Wilson were saying one could beat the other or something, but. We talked about this other podcast. Any man in the NBA is going to beat any woman in the WNBA, most likely. But that doesn't take away that they are great for their sport.
Absolutely.
They're getting better. They're getting a lot more viewership, and I do think that is a good thing that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are rivals. I think it's creating some watchable TV, right? You want to see the WNBA because you want to see where these two
Well,
go.
I mean, you could say you're happy they're rivals, right? How many times do they play each other?
I don't know anything about
there
that.
we have it.
I'm gonna be
what's the
100%
rivalry?
honest.
They're not, so they're going to only tune in
I've
for
never
one
watched a
game a
WNBA
season,
game.
and that's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. That's if they play one time a season.
Have you watched a WNBA game?
I
Ever?
don't watch it.
All right.
I'm not
let's make a
interested.
deal.
I'll watch.
Let's make a deal. We're gonna watch a game together, a
Okay.
WNBA game,
All
and we'll
right.
actually like watch it from beginning to end.
Facts.
Not just highlights. 'Cause
Okay.
we get the lowlights and highlights, and then
That's
we
right,
don't
that's
know
right,
what we're.
that's right,
You
that's
know what
right,
I
that's
mean?
right, yeah.
So this
That'll
year
be dope, though.
we'll
That'll
watch
be
one
dope.
and we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. We'll make a separate episode just about that.
That's fire. That's fire.
Maybe we'll make it Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. We'll watch
If
their
we can
game.
watch their game against each other, that'll be magnificent.
I think that'll be awesome. So we'll make that happen.
Okay.
But let's go ahead to the next subject. So LeBron and Stephen A. Smith, they had a bit of a quarrel on the sideline of an NBA game.
Check him, LeBron. He ain't getting no pass.
Me and you are on two different sides of this of this coin. So apparently,
Finally, guys, y'all get to see us really disagree with myself.
we're trying to keep it kosher, right? Bridge the gap,
Facts,
right?
facts.
We're not gonna fist fight each other or
Facts.
anything, but I do disagree with you sometimes, and you do disagree with me as well. We just handle it in a better nature than some people would.
Well, we know that we don't have to agree with everything,
Exactly.
and we're okay with that.
Correct. So Stephen A. Smith had spoken about LeBron bringing his son into the league and talking about nepotism. Nepotism is actually like an issue in the NBA. My team, the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I guarantee you I butchered his name just now.
Yeah.
His brother Thanasis was on the team for the longest time and really didn't provide much to the team for scoring wise or anything like that. But he was a glue guy and he brought the locker room together and all that. But
So he played a part, right?
He played a part.
Okay,
That's
okay.
a form of nepotism, though, because he's only on the team because his
So we're going to
brother's
talk
on the
about
team.
nepotism before we actually dive in, because we both got two different views on nepotism.
Well, let's go ahead. We can make it quick. Go ahead.
So you're against nepotism, obviously.
I believe that nepotism takes away a spot for a person who deserves the position. Now,
It
again,
depends on where it is, though.
Yeah, I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks would have won their championship without Thanasis. And anybody could argue, and you could tell me stats and everything, but Giannis is happy when his brother's there.
And didn't the baby brother get a ring in the bubble with LeBron and them?
Was he on the team?
Yeah,
I know he was on the team that year.
He was on the,
but
he
I
was
don't
on the
think
team
played
when
a
he got
part.
the ring.
I think he was down in the G League, but anybody who was on the team
Got
even
a
if they
ring.
got traded, they got a ring. So
Correct.
he may have got a ring.
Cool. Yeah, the baby boy got a ring, yeah.
What was his name?
I've seen the story of them. But yeah, I think nepotism is a great thing. I mean, from the NBA to a business.
Costas. That was his name. Costas.
Costas, correct.
Yeah, I think so.
That's from the NBA, whatever it is, I think nepotism is a great thing. I think that anyone should set their family up for success. Period. So I can put you in a position because I'm obligated to put you in a position. What do you do with it?
Okay.
So I think that
So I'm giving you the opportunity.
that's all
Do something
nepotism
with it.
is. You're just putting somebody in that position. Whatever they do with it is completely up
Yeah.
to them. But you're obligated. You're obligated. And for one, he's a basketball player. I'd have said if he had
You're
no
talking about
clue
Bronny?
about. No,
You're talking about Thanasis?
yeah,
Okay.
and Costas. Because he was the reason both of them were in the NBA. Just to be honest, you know what I mean.
Thanasis is actually older than
He's the
Giannis,
oldest.
I believe.
He's the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And they were basketball players to begin with.
Yes, sir.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
back
what he
in
really
Greece.
did was just put them in a position to where they could be in the NBA and hopefully grow, and whatever came of it, came of it. He did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? My brothers could play ball. If my brothers want to get in the NBA and I'm
give
the
them
way that they can get in the NBA, I'm going to get them that opportunity.
I think Thanasis was more than an opportunity. I think it was like, he's going to be here or I'm going to leave. And I think, I personally think the same thing that LeBron, hey, you're going to draft my son.
Absolutely. No, because like I told you, he was 55th. He was 55th pick. Guys,
55th.
correct me if I'm wrong. He was already supposed to go to either Golden State or the Boston Celtics. So either way, he was going to be in the NBA. It's just LeBron made sure he came with him to the Lakers.
And that could be true. I don't know anything about like where he was supposed to go. I personally think he was not going to get drafted, but LeBron made him get drafted, and maybe he was going to get picked up and put into the G League. But that's
Even
I have no
if
evidence
that
of
was
any
the
of that.
case, cool.
Yeah.
You do that, Pops. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, taking care of his kid. I get that. Somebody else maybe is better, maybe deserves a spot on the team. But I couldn't name a player that does. So
Who's to say what he can and what he can't be? Everyone keeps looking at no one is even giving this kid the opportunity to grow. He's only here. It's his first season.
He got an opportunity.
No, I'm saying he's not being given the opportunity to grow.
Oh, you're saying
they're
he's
counting every failure.
gotta get better.
Yeah, they're counting every failure.
Well, he's
Not
LeBron
knowing
James' son.
So what? He's still a different
His
person.
name is
I'm
literally
his son,
LeBron James.
but I'm a different person. Yes, I'm his son. I carry his name. But if you look at me, you look at him. Obviously, you can tell we're two completely different people.
Yeah. So LeBron James is the self-crowned king, right? You think
No, he's
the
not
GOAT?
the self-crowned king. He is the king.
You think he's the GOAT?
Absolutely.
And that's a fair, it's an arguable
Absolutely.
stance to have.
The GOAT.
I can't say he's not. Well, I could say he's not, but there's an argument to be had there.
Most
So
will say
if your father is the greatest of all time,
correct.
your expectations are going to be sky high, through the roof, unachievable. LeBron James Jr.
see, that's just
will
people-
never accomplish what people expect out of him,
That's just people not thinking from a realistic standpoint.
and they're not.
Yeah, so
I
then,
agree
then,
with you.
then we agree. Then so then the argument is not valid because they're being unrealistic about
I'm
him not
talking about
living
them.
up to being like his dad. Because of course, that's unrealistic. I haven't seen. Has there ever been any father-son athletes with a son measured up to the father?
100%.
Who?
I can't name anybody right now,
Oh,
like
okay.
off the rip.
Okay.
But there's people that or you're talking about somebody who's been in the NBA who's
Any
you had
athlete.
Tim Hardaway Jr. I'd say
Okay.
Tim Hardaway's better. There's plenty of sons. Jalen Brunson's dad was in the NBA,
Yeah,
and
how
he's
good
head
was
and
he?
shoulders above.
How good was he?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so
But Jalen's better than him.
The son was better than the dad.
Correct.
Okay,
That's what you were
but
just
that's
asking.
not what. No, I'm asking where is there been a case
Like a
where
superstar.
the son lived up to be better than the father, and the father was great.
Was great.
The father was already great, and the son came in and measured up to the father.
I think Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't better. I don't know. Tell us in the comments if you could think of
Yeah,
anybody.
please
That's
do.
a good question.
That is a good one. That's
I'm
a
gonna
good one.
I'm gonna look up some.
That's
I'll
a good
throw
one.
something in the comments. if I
And
come
you
up
will
with
look it
something.
up too.
I'm sure I'll find somebody. I'm almost guarantee you.
Listen, guys, nepotism, I agree with it from any standpoint. I definitely agree with you placing your people in a position to win because by you placing them there, you already did your part. It's whatever they do with that opportunity that matters. That's my view on nepotism.
So we got off on nepotism. We'll take a U-turn back to Stephen A. Smith.
Correct.
It kind of has to do with nepotism.
G-checker.
It really does. It really does, honestly. So Stephen A. Smith said that LeBron James shouldn't have brought his son into the NBA, something like
He
that,
was hurting
and that he's
him
hurting him, and he should have been in the G League. And LeBron James, as you said, you called it a G-check. He came up to him on the sideline and
In a very professional way, too. Not irate.
I'll be honest, I didn't even look at a video of it.
Not,
I've just
not
seen
irate.
some
Literally just approached them.
commentary.
There was
on
no
it.
smiles, so maybe that's the clue that people get. There was some confrontation.
Well-
there's no smiles.
Well, there wasn't a clue. Stephen A. Smith came out and said it.
Absolutely, he claimed that. Yeah, people knew, so he had to.
He seemed to
Yeah.
say it in a relatively respectful manner. So the whole story is Stephen A. Smith was talking about Bronny James, which is LeBron James' son. He was saying how he didn't deserve to be in the NBA, and how his father needs to stop it because he's making it hard on his son.
Especially
being
from
LeBron-
the game against the 76ers,
Where Maxey smoked him.
where Tyrese Maxey smoked them, which is expected.
I won't say expected, but it's understandable.
It's expected. We're talking about Tyrese Maxey here. Any guys out there that watch NBA basketball and have seen what Tyrese Maxey has been doing to the average NBA players can understand exactly why I say it was expected.
He's a very good player. I think he dropped 50 on him, didn't he?
I don't know if he dropped
40?
50 that night.
Whatever it was.
That would have
But,
been.
I mean, he's a rookie, and I get it. He wasn't guarding him the whole night, so you can't. It's very hard to tag it to anybody.
How did he bounce back from that moment?
I honestly
Did he crumble
He didn't
after that
crumble.
moment? No. Okay.
No, I mean he's raised in this, like LeBron has brought him up, and he's his own man, right? So he knows how to handle it. It's just he needs to improve. He needs to get better.
That's why I say LeBron isn't hurting his son.
And they expect him to be the GOAT.
That boy is mentally strong.
I
Hell, he overcame a heart attack. That boy is fearless. He know he can overcome anything. I just think it was expected. I don't think LeBron is setting him up for failure. I
won't say I think that either.
I think that his development he's not as developed as his father was when his father came into the league.
And the league's different now too. So a lot of 3 shooting. His father came in and he could just bully ball down to the paint.
And he should be allotted the time to grow into. He's only 19. How old is he? Oh, he about to be 21, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be 20 or 21. Now,
yeah.
Let's like be honest here. He was drafted 55th overall. You really don't even expect
him to be anything. That's right.
So that's why I'm saying the expectation is too high. Yes. Yeah. But he's LeBron James' son, so it's going to be that high. There's no fixing that. So everybody's going to expect him to be the second coming of LeBron James. Unfortunate for him or fortunate for him. I mean, he's going to be making money for a good while. He's going to have contracts. His own money.
He got a Nike contract too.
Does he?
He got a Nike contract too.
Bravo. Get in the bag.
That boy ain't playing.
Just like SGA.
He know how to hustle.
Okay. So Stephen A. Smith, how do you feel? First, so there's a few things to break apart here. So how do you feel about LeBron James coming up to him? And this is Stephen A. Smith's job, right? He's a sports commentator. Do you think LeBron overstepped by coming up to Stephen A. Smith and saying something on the court?
No.
I disagree.
Because certain things, if I got a real issue with you, this has always been me. If anybody know me, I'm addressing it. We're not talking over telephone. We're not doing none of that, bro. When I see you, we got to talk. Okay. That's how real men handle things. And what made it even realer is how he conducted himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's good that he didn't like go over and punch him or make a big scene. So that's good. And LeBron James knows how to handle himself too. LeBron James he's so many years, no controversy.
Stephen A. wants to be a victim.
Well, Stephen A. is just
always an aggressor at the end of the day.
No offense, like he's just a loud guy. I like Stephen A. Smith. I
like him too.
I think First Take was him and Skip Bayless.
Correct.
I love that show. I watched that show religiously.
Yeah.
And they were great too. And that's another thing. That's a heel and a face.
That's right.
A rivalry right there, basically.
Yeah. Skip was the face at the time.
Yeah, he's definitely the heel now, boy. He's a villain.
After he left Shannon Sharp, his ratings.
Well, let's not even talk about Shannon Sharp.
Pooped.
We can talk about him another day.
Yeah.
I love Shannon Sharp, but he's kind of. I won't even say a word.
He's a mixed bag for me at this point. Yeah,
great football player though. All right, so I disagree, but I do see your side, right? And this is how, like, me and you disagree a lot, but we can see each other's side. Sorry about that. So I think he should have spoke to him over the phone or something. Hey, can you calm that down? But I do understand as a father, right? You're going to defend your son. So I'm not mad at him. LeBron James is still great. He handles himself perfectly in every single situation. He's an example for kids everywhere.
Correct.
You could complain about all types of other players in sports, and LeBron has been
You're passive.
The example.
You're
100%.
passive?
Am I passive? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm passive. I could be aggressive. It depends on the situation. I just would rather handle. If I'm a public figure, I'm gonna handle it behind the scenes first, and then if it's not handled, now I'm gonna come to you in person.
Because now that's what you call escalation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, then it might go higher than a conversation.
There you go.
Okay.
So
you're gonna take it straight person to person.
We can already read each other.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? If you address it in person, you and that person can have an understanding just through eye contact.
And there's no misunderstandings like through phone, through text. I do understand that.
There you go.
Okay,
people
I
can
see
take
your
a text
side
wrong. People can take our phone conversation wrong. But when we face to face, we get to read each other's temperature.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We get to see if it's animosity behind it. We get to see if it's humbleness behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why he said, I respect LeBron came He didn't come to me as a basketball player.
He came to me as a father.
As a father.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So he was able to gauge that. He probably wouldn't have been able to gauge that over a phone call.
If I was LeBron James, I would have handled it differently.
Okay.
But I do see what you're saying. Like, over the phone could be confusion. Face to face, there's no confusion. You know what I'm saying. I know what you're saying.
Correct.
You know where I stand. I know where you stand.
Correct.
But still, all that being said, I would have handled it over the phone.
Okay.
Or maybe I would have approached him at his office or something
Why
rather
would you have
than
handled
on
it
the
over the
basketball
phone?
court, just to not make it a public scene. Which brings me to my next question about the situation. What about Stephen A. Smith, like, talking about it? How do you feel about that? Should he have not talked about it? Should he have kept it to himself?
Like you said, that's his job. So I can't
I'll tell you
be upset that he did talk about it because that's his job. You know, controversy sells.
Yeah.
He got his views up for that segment.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So he's a hustler. I think that it was an opportunity for him once it happened in public. You get what I'm saying? It was an opportunity for him to be like, okay, I can cap off of this right here. I can
make some money off this. I get what you're saying. He's trying to get views for the ESPN or wherever, or his Twitter, get followers. Okay. I disagree with him saying anything. I think if he got talked to, and I hear what you're saying, like, he's trying to promote himself with it potentially, and that is an avenue, that's an angle you could look at. But I feel like, now, if I switch positions, I'm Stephen A. Smith, and this happened, and LeBron approached me on the sideline, I would just keep that to myself. Hey, what did LeBron say to you on the sideline? Oh, we just had a conversation.
That's not his mindset.
What did you guys conversate about? Is conversate a word?
He's a conversate?
Yeah, I don't know.
It
is? Conversate's a word?
Converse. Yeah. They're
Okay.
always, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're dealing with a wordsmith.
There you go. So, what was your conversation about? Oh, it was nothing big. We were talking about the game. I would never. That's like a private conversation, even though it's in like the NBA court or whatever. That's a conversation between you two. That should have stayed private, in my opinion. And I see where you're coming from, but again, I'm going to disagree with you. I believe private conversations should be left private. There was no injured party in this conversation,
Correct.
I guess, so it's not a problem for it going public. It's just a
he
bad
was an
look.
opportunist. You know what? I'm going to switch. I'm going to agree with you in that aspect, but I'm going to agree. Maybe he shouldn't have talked about it, but I know the reason why he did it. You get what I'm saying?
Get ratings, get
Absolutely.
views, whatever.
It was an angle.
Yeah,
it was an angle.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, his views for that segment was out of here.
Oh yeah, because he got confronted by LeBron James. Everybody wants to know the drama.
About it. They
want the tea.
There you go.
Right?
He's a drama. He's a drama queen.
Yeah,
he's a drama.
He's a
queen.
loud guy.
Both of them, for the most part. But he was definitely the drama queen in that aspect.
Drama king, Stephen A. LeBron too, King LeBron. Drama, not very much drama. I'm lying. I think that's gonna wrap us up for today. We were going to get into some relationship conversation, but we'll save that for the next podcast.
Yes, we will.
Before we go, we wanted to make sure we shouted out Kyle. He's our editor. He just signed on with us. We did take him out to Top Golf on Saturday. Unfortunately, Zoe wasn't able to make it. But we'll have 2 shorts edited and put out for you guys. Him driving and me driving.
To see me out there missing.
We'll get Zoe out there next time. He had previous plans. We do have pictures coming for the wall. Thanks for the feedback. I know it's a little barren. They'll be here next episode, and then we have somebody making a logo for us. So we're excited to see that. And again, we want to thank everybody who subscribed. We appreciate the views. Like, subscribe.
That's right. And
tell
share.
people about it. Share. Yeah.
Leave comments.
Yeah, please comment.
We love it.
We respond to every comment.
I'm just going to go ahead and get you guys amped and ready for this next episode. This next episode is going to be different. It's going to be a little more personal. And I'm looking forward to it. And I know my brother is too. We're going to dive into some things that kind of get away from what we've been giving you guys recently, but it's going to feel just right, and it's going to touch you guys a little bit more. So I can't wait for the next episode.
Well, all right, guys, thank you so much for your viewership. Like, subscribe, share. All right, so we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.